This is a full recap of Remember Member, spoilers ahead. A little girl is running barefoot through the woods carrying her doll. She enters a building to hide from her pursuer. We see a man carrying an axe and he's bent on blood tonight. The girl barricades the door. Creaking can be heard nearby. He enters from the window and chops the girl without mercy, blood staining the walls and her doll in the process. There is a cut scene about with old newspaper articles showing missing children, and a man who looks like he has seen some stuff says that they acted as a substitute for her, becoming her sacrifice. Texts in Russian states, "It starts at midnight. It repeats the same day forever. It never ends until all the body parts are found." The date is July 5th. Asuka Morisaki, a shy, quiet girl, goes to high school like any normal day. She walks to school as some boys bump into her. This is Takahiro, a popular boy and childhood friend with Asuka, but they are not on good terms now. Asuka witnesses Kitty-chan getting run over by Bus-kun. This feline was just isekai to a better place. Asuka is an outcast at school. The classmates does not interact with her as she sits in her corner. Some bullies pick on a boy named Shota, planting the theft of festival funds in his desk. Seems like this is a normal occurrence since the class president Rie does not really react. She instead has her eyes on Takahiro instead. Asuka eats lunch by herself next to a construction site. She sees bloodied arms coming out of a well in front of her. The arms disappear as soon as other people show up. Asuka casually goes back to check on it but continues on her way. Nothing is odd at all in this anime world that is Japan. She walks to the back of the building and sees the librarian, Mr. Yashiro, digging a shallow hole burying something. Asuka hears a little kid asking, "I need you to find my body," behind her. The figure vanishes as she turns around. We see that Takahiro is a basketball star, but no one knows why he goes to this high school. Surely he has other offers. At 11:59 p.m., Asuka gets spam text messages. Ghosts can use smartphones over there with such good internet connection. She tries to ignore it, but midnight hits and she appears in a chapel at the school with 5 other students: Takahiro, Atsushi, Rumiko, Rie, and Shota. They have all been brought there by an unknown force since they all saw that little girl's spirit around the school asking for help. There is a coffin on the stage. Atsushi has not been to class for a while since he is too cool for school. Walks out is killed immediately, getting sliced in half. Rumiko gets similar treatment as she is bent over some glass. The remaining students sees a shadowy figure stalking them. They try to open the front gate but cannot get it open. They hide near the lockers. Shota falls victim next, getting tossed around like a rag doll. Rie runs away by herself and is dragged and killed. The killer impales Takahiro and dances for joy with her accomplishment. Asuka gets 5 finger to the face. The killer, it's a little girl, covered in blood. She carries her beloved bunny doll. The end. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Oh wait. Asuka wakes up clutching her mouth. It's July 5th again. Was everything a terrifying nightmare? The day plays out like it did the previous day. Even for Kitty-chan. Come on Asuka, you had one job. Takahiro runs in and asks, what is the game body search? Shota shows them the Russian article on the game. It starts at midnight. Run away from the red person. Until the body search is completed, they will have to repeat the day over and over until they find all the body parts in the same night. The librarian Yashiro overhears the conversation but walks away, not suspicious at all. The students go through their day. Rumiko is visiting her biker boyfriend and tells him that his bike will get towed. She checks his phone after he leaves. Turns out Rumiko is just a side piece. Midnight comes again for round 2, and they are transported back to the chapel to participate in the body search. Atsushi says that he wants no part in the shenanigans and does not care. Asuka meet up with Takahiro, find the right arm in the fish tank. The light flickers and they hide from the red person. Takahiro runs to buy time. He uses himself as bait so Asuka can take the limb to the chapel. He fights the red person, but gets killed as she grins with delight. Asuka runs to the chapel and places the right arm in the coffin right before the red person kills her too. She wakes up at 7 a.m. on July 5th again. This time the students will try to make the most of their time loop. Kitty-chan gets one of his lives back too. The group gleefully talk about what happened last night. They take care of the bullies before Shota can get into trouble, and indulges on a bunch of junk food since it will be reset anyway. Asuka now has a chance to make friends and is getting along with the other girls stuck in the time loop. It's not all bad, they said. Round 3. The red person creeps up on the girls as they dive underwater. Not sure what the plan was initially, but Killer walks away. Rumiko plays a joke on the girls, but her and Rie gets dragged down underwater. Asuka gets killed soon after. Next day, we learn that Atsushi was a star basketball player until he got injured and lost his offer to go pro. He quit basketball soon after and stopped going to school. The students found articles detailing that 30 years ago, Miko Onoyama was murdered, dismembered, and the parts were buried around the school. Her head was never found. No other details are known about the killer or motive. The librarian walks up asking what they were doing. Rie says that they're just friends chatting. This made Asuka happy as she now has friends. Shota has been putting in the hard work and pulls out a schematic of the school. They will now mark off the areas that they searched already. Only took them getting clapped 3 times to realize that. Shota comes up with the plan to distract the red person using sound and lights. Takahiro and Shota will be bait as the girls spread out and look for body parts. The bum Atsushi just stay on the roof. My goodness, a demon dressed as a girl is killing you and your classmates, but this dude is still unmotivated. Taka uses his athleticism to avoid the red person. Parkour! The girls get the body parts bit by bit. They cross off areas that they have already searched. The group gets killed night after night, but there are no doubts in their minds. They actually seem to enjoy the camaraderie in this hellish experience. The librarian Yashiro shows up again, and this time Rumiko says that they are putting together a dead body. He walks away without saying anything. Asuka has her suspects that he knows more than he shows. We see Atsushi doing his usual thing on the roof, hearing his classmates getting ran through again for another night. Takahiro has the left leg this time, as he is about to fail the game again. Atsushi joins in taking the leg for the injured Takahiro. Only the head is missing, but the group does not know where it is. The group goes on a filler episode to the beach. Feels like I'm watching Naruto anime again. In this calm moment, Asuka reveals that freshman year, she missed a swim meet due to illness, but there was a rumor of her faking it, and no one wanted to talk to her anymore. Taka feels guilty for also leaving her alone. Some creeps try to slide into the girl's DM. Our boys fight them off and running away before more trouble can come. They ask, can life get better than this? Only if they didn't get murdered every night, replied Shota. Not sure how many rounds it has been. I lost track. The group goes to the building where the little girl was murdered to look for clues. It's in surprising good shape for being out in the woods with no one to tend it. They find out the girl Miko had a sickness and could not attend school. She has her doll named Emily and spent every day in her house being treated. They open a hidden wall and find Emily the doll. The door slams shut. Emily disappears. The group got scared and leaves. That night, they assembled all the body parts except for the head. The red person was nowhere to be seen. The group met in the chapel to plan their next step, until a shadow of what is Emily the doll fused with the red person. This happened because they awoke in the doll from its slumber in the house. The monster lost its charm and sense of humor. now just hungry for human flesh. Rumiko, Atsushi. Shota bows out for the night. The three remaining fires up some torches and wait to battle. Set it on fire, you fools. Maybe they can do a crash course on combat, or prepare for the fight during their time off instead of going to the beach, since the red person is mainly using physical strength so far. The monster gobbles up Rie. Only Asuka is left to find the head. Never mind. Reset happens again, but the timeline is different. Kitty-chan is not on her usual place and gets run over. Rie is blanked out of existence as no one remembers her. This was the result of getting eaten. Asuka runs to look for Mr. Yashiro and asks about the body search. My man was burying Kitty-chan. She convinces him by showing that she knows exactly what was going to happen that day since she is stuck in a time loop. She catches the falling pot. Yashiro shows her a book called Comparative Study of Occult Culture Deciphering Body Searches Worldwide, with one of his old classmates' name as the last person who checked it out. He was a part of a body search in high school too. However, after it was over, his group cannot remember the events of the search after he was freed from the time loop. The thought of all her memories being forgotten terrifies Asuka more than the red person itself. She can't go back to those days just existing alone. She ponders if she should tell her friends or not. Takahiro talks about his fears too. He chickened out when he got scouted in basketball, but now he is resolute. He's not running away anymore. Taka erases Asuka's doubt, stating that he will find her tomorrow when it comes. Taking her first kiss at the same time, and giving her his pin to remember the moment. Meeting later with the group, Shota bemoans that they have looked all over the school twice and can't find the head. Asuka has a theory that the head is head of the doll. She remembers when the pool scene where Emily the doll sank into the water head first. They prepare for the night, making some traps. Schools in Japan are pretty chill with students being there late, I see. Takahiro discusses that he thinks the monster is drawn to the loneliness of everyone in the group, the cracks of their heart. From Asuka and Shota, who is either ignored or picked on by others. Rie having to keep up the facade of being the perfect class president. Rumiko being played by her biker boyfriend as the chick on the side. Takahiro and Atsushi's fear of failure and being left out when they fail. They decide to take down the red person together. The final battle, the fused monster enters, overpowers the group, and eats Shota after he saves Rumiko. Takahiro pushes a modified table, and they try to immobilize the monster with chains. The doll grabs Asuka, but Rumiko saws off an arm and gets herself impaled in the process. The boys connect the chains and tightened it until the doll cuts off the power. Now it's an all-out struggle. Can they keep their advantage? Atsushi gets munched on too, but his sacrifice was not in vain, buying time for Takahiro to chainsaw the monster's head. A skull drops to the ground. The two goes to the chapel, but the monster doll is in pursuit. Takahiro fights the monster and puts obstacles between Asuka. Go on, girl, what are you doing? She is literally steps away. With his last words, he promises to find each other again. He should have said, "Run, Forrest, run." Asuka wastes her moment and gets caught by the monster. She summons the power of friendship to fight the monster doll, finishing it with Talk Jutsu, impaling it on the cross. She places the head in the coffin, completing the body game, hoping that Miko can finally rest in peace. The alarm shows July 6th. Asuka has beat the time loop. As she feared, the group has no memory of the events and back to normal. Rie is back. Atsushi shows up at school. They draw for members of the festival committee, and it's the 6 students. Takahiro picks up the tie pin from Asuka and remembers. After the end credit scenes, we go back to the well that initiated the whole thing. At its bottom, there is a newspaper clipping showing second-grade girl murdered, but it changes from Miko to Asuka instead. There were a lot of unanswered questions. Who is doing the actual murders that spans decades and continents? Were there demons or devils that capture spirits after their deaths? Find out.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Or the sequel? Not sure. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more.